Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
A team of international investigators hoping something on that piece of metal may finally reveal what happened to Flight 370.
There's something very unique going on here that I haven't experienced in my investigations before.
Malaysia Flight MH370, one of the most perplexing aviation mysteries of our time, disappeared without a trace, shocking the world. Investigators have tirelessly searched the ocean depths and analyzed every piece of evidence in their quest to uncover the truth behind this enigmatic vanishing. However, what if the answers we seek are buried within a multitude of new discoveries and cutting-edge theories? Today we embark on an intriguing journey, revealing groundbreaking findings and mind-bending theories that may shed light on the dark secrets of the Malaysia Flight MH370 tragedy. This ill-fated flight, commonly referred to as MH370, was an international passenger flight operated by Malaysian Airlines. It was destined for Beijing, the vibrant capital of China, carrying over 200 passengers who were either returning to their homeland or venturing into a new and exciting foreign land. Specifically, the flight carried 227 passengers from 14 different countries and 12 Malaysian crew members, representing a diverse group of individuals traveling across vast oceans and lands. On March 8, 2014, MH370 departed from Kuala Lumpur International Airport. On the stroke of midnight, in Malaysia's bustling capital city, a routine flight was about to take off. The destination was Beijing, a journey of approximately 5,570 kilometers that was expected to take around 5 hours and 34 minutes. This flight unexpectedly gained worldwide attention. The pilots, Captain Zaharie Ahmed Shah and First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, were in control of the advanced Boeing 737-200ER aircraft, renowned for its safety and advanced technology, often chosen by airlines for long-haul flights. As the passengers settled in, MH370 ascended into the night sky from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing on March 8, 2014. However, during this scheduled journey, the aircraft vanished from radar screens, leaving behind a perplexing mystery. Inside the cockpit, Captain Zaharie and First Officer Farik were experienced professionals responsible for the safety of their passengers. At approximately 1:01 Malaysian Standard Time, while flying at an altitude of 35,000 feet, the aircraft transmitted its regular half-hourly data report through the Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, ACARS. The report indicated that everything was normal, with no signs of trouble on board. Around 1:07 a.m., the aircraft disappeared. The ACARS sent its final message, stating that all systems were functioning normally. We were expecting an update at 1:37 a.m., but unfortunately, it never came. At around 1:19 a.m., just before entering Vietnamese airspace, the cockpit communicated with the air traffic controller in Kuala Lumpur saying, "Good night, Malaysia 370. This phrase was a routine handover from one control center to another, but this time, we never received the expected communication from the new center. Recently, scientists have made some shocking discoveries and theories about the Flight 370 incident. These findings are set to greatly change our understanding of the disaster, providing valuable insights into what happened. Number 15. Mysterious messages and signals. In the puzzling case of MH370, the plane disappeared from radar, but surprisingly, it managed to communicate sporadically with a stationary satellite in the Indian Ocean for a continuous period of 6 hours. This satellite belonged to a company called Inmarsat, which is based in London. This interesting communication suggests that the plane did not suffer any sudden catastrophic event. Instead, it appears that it continued to fly at high speeds and altitudes during those 6 hours. This was possible because some communication systems on the plane, such as passenger equipment, cockpit technology, and automated maintenance reports, were intentionally turned off or disconnected. The interaction with the Inmarsat satellite consisted of brief electronic signals, such as faint whispers of communication. In total, there were 7 instances of connection. 2 were initiated by the plane itself, while 5 were initiated by the Inmarsat ground station. Additionally, 2 satellite phone calls were made, but unfortunately, there was no response from the other side. However, these calls did yield additional details about the situation. Most of these communications were related to 2 values, which Inmarsat documented as either an individual or a system. Number 14. Radar data and insights. Radar data from air traffic control computers and combined information from the Malaysian Air Force revealed that after MH370 disappeared from radar, it suddenly turned southwest. It then changed its course back over the Malay Peninsula and circled around Penang Island. From there, the plane flew northwest, passing through the Strait of Malacca and eventually disappeared from radar coverage over the Andaman Sea. This part of the flight lasted more than an hour, indicating that the incident was different from a typical hijacking or a previously seen accident or pilot suicide scenario. The investigation into MH370 took unexpected and unfamiliar paths from the very beginning. The mystery surrounding MH370 has been under investigation for a long time, and people around the world are speculating intensely. The loss deeply affected families around the world. The idea that a highly advanced aircraft equipped with modern equipment and backup communications could simply disappear seems impossible. Permanently deleting an email is challenging. It is almost impossible to completely disconnect from the modern world, even if one deliberately tries to do so. The Boeing 777 is designed for constant electronic connectivity, so the plane's disappearance has sparked a variety of theories. Some of these ideas may seem far-fetched, but they attract attention because the disappearance of commercial aircraft is rare today. Despite immediate denials by Malaysian authorities and attempts by the Malaysian Air Force to sow confusion, the truth about the plane's unusual flight path quickly began to emerge. Number 13. The extraordinary journey to Antarctica. In a surprising twist, technicians in London used Doppler shift logs to determine the exact location of an airplane. Inmarsat was responsible for this groundbreaking achievement. Specifically, at 2:40 a.m., the airplane, previously believed to be flying straight, unexpectedly made a significant turn towards the south. This happened above Sumatra, the northernmost island of Indonesia. Despite some uncertainty in the analysis, experts believe that the airplane continued its journey towards Antarctica, which was much farther than its anticipated range. 6 hours later, the Doppler data revealed a sudden and steep descent. The descent was remarkably fast, up to 5 times quicker than the usual rate. Within a minute or two of crossing the 7th arc, the plane tragically crashed into the ocean. This rapid descent may have caused the airplane to lose parts before the impact. Electronic evidence suggests that this was not a planned water landing, but a catastrophic event. The airplane appeared to have broken into numerous pieces almost instantly. The exact location and cause of the impact were not determined. The satellite interpretations did not have enough physical evidence to support them, so the mystery remained unsolved. Number 12. The Doppler value. The technical analysis shows that the plane likely turned southward. This conclusion is strongly supported by the second recorded value from Inmarsat, known as the Doppler value. This value is important because it measures how the plane's frequency changes as it moves quickly relative to the satellite's position. It's a normal method for airplanes to communicate with satellites during flights to ensure smooth communication. The airplane systems anticipate and account for these frequency changes. However, the adjustments may not be entirely accurate due to potential discrepancies in signals sent by older satellites. Other factors, such as the satellite's orbit tilt and temperature, can also affect the signals they transmit, which can be observed in the data. Number 11. The quest for the hidden black boxes. Satellite data revealed something astonishing. The plane appeared to have continued flying for several hours, even after losing communication. Eventually, Malaysian officials admitted that this information was indeed accurate. The Malaysian government, known for its secretive and untrustworthy behavior during the investigation, raised suspicions, especially given the corruption allegations surrounding the government in the region. This created chaos for accident investigators from Europe, Australia, and the United States. They faced obstacles due to withheld information and initial misguided search efforts in the South China Sea. As a result, no floating debris was found, which could have helped determine the general location of the plane and potentially led to the recovery of its black boxes if the Malaysians had been transparent from the beginning. The search for these black boxes eventually led to a remote part of the ocean. However, the ocean itself is vast. It took 2 years to locate similar black boxes from a previous crash, Air France Flight 447, despite having a good idea of where to look. It took nearly 2 months of unsuccessful efforts before they started searching the deeper sections of the ocean. The surface search ended in April 2014 under Malaysian control. However, they had limited capabilities for a deep-sea search and recovery operation. Thankfully, Australia took charge and led the search in the areas identified by satellite data. The extreme depth and unexplored nature of the region posed a unique challenge. The first step was to accurately map the underwater terrain. Only then could they safely tow specialized sonar vehicles many miles beneath the ocean's surface. Number 10. The intentional flight's secrets. Another interesting detail suggests that this event may not have been a simple accident, but a well-planned situation. The flight took an unusual path without any electronic communication, which cannot be easily explained by common reasons, such as technical problems or human errors. Regular explanations, such as computer errors, control system issues, environmental factors like ice, lightning, or bird strikes, and even rare events like meteorites or volcanic ash, struggle to make sense of the flight's complex route. Surprisingly, possible mechanical and human-related issues, from sensors to radio equipment and instruments to electrical systems, do not fully account for the intentional nature of the flight's deviation from its course. Even scenarios involving fire, smoke, sudden loss of cabin pressure, explosions in the cargo area, or the pilot's inability to fly the plane do not reveal the complete story behind this puzzling event. The absence of previous incidents involving confused pilots, medical emergencies, or external threats like bombs or acts of war only adds to the intrigue of this mystery. Number 9. Voyage into conspiracy. In Boulder, Colorado, Mike, an electrical engineer and esteemed member of an independent group, thoroughly examined radar data about an airplane. He strongly believed that during a turn, the aircraft climbed to a height of 40,000 feet, which was close to its maximum capacity. This maneuver would have caused the passengers to experience strong G-forces, pushing them into their seats. Mike proposed a theory that this climb was intentional and aimed at quickly depressurizing the plane, resulting in the rapid incapacitation and unfortunate death of everyone on board. His hypothesis suggested that this deliberate depressurization may have been a method to control any potential unruly behavior during the long flight. The effects of the depressurization would have gone unnoticed in the cabin if it weren't for the sudden appearance of drop-down oxygen masks designed for emergencies. However, these masks were only effective for up to 15 minutes at altitudes below 13,000 feet. At the high cruising altitude of 40,000 feet, the passengers in the cabin would have quickly lost consciousness, without experiencing any choking or gasping for air. The passengers who had died would have still been in their seats, with the oxygen masks hanging from the ceiling no longer working. The emergency lights provided a dim illumination in the scene. In contrast, the cockpit had 4 pressurized oxygen masks that could supply oxygen for several hours. If someone intentionally caused the plane to lose pressure, they could have used one of these masks to continue breathing safely. The plane was rapidly flying towards Penang Island at a speed of almost 600 miles per hour, appearing as a mysterious dot on the main radars. Butterworth Air Base, which had Malaysian F-18 fighter jets and an air defense radar, was located nearby. Surprisingly, it seemed that nobody was paying much attention to the situation. As Mike continued investigating, he couldn't help but wonder why the air defense radar and fighter jets were not giving much attention to the situation. The seriousness of his discoveries and the potential implications for aviation safety weighed heavily on his mind. Number 8. Sabotage in the clouds. Despite what many people believed, the plane's control was not taken from a distant location below the front galley where electrical equipment is stored. Instead, it was controlled from inside the cockpit. This occurred between 1:01 a.m., when the plane reached an altitude of 35,000 feet, and 1:21 a.m., when it disappeared from the secondary radar. During this 20-minute period, the plane's automatic condition reporting system sent its regular 30-minute update to the airline's maintenance department via satellite. This update included information about the fuel level, altitude, speed, geographic position, and any anomalies. The transmission indicated that the airplane's satellite communication system was functioning at that time. Considering the unlikelihood of two pilots acting in concert, it is probable that by the time the plane vanished from the secondary radar, one of the pilots was either incapacitated, deceased, or locked out of the cockpit. Both military and civilian aircraft were detected on the primary radar. Further investigation suggested that the pilot of MH370 likely disabled the autopilot. The tight southwest turn was too precise for automated systems to handle. Moreover, it seems that the person in control deliberately depressurized the plane and shut down a significant part, if not all, of the electrical system at the same time. The reason behind these actions is still unclear, but they unintentionally caused a temporary disruption in the satellite link. Number 7. When pilots take matters into their own hands. In the mysterious disappearance of MH370, there is a theory suggesting the captain's possible involvement. It is speculated whether it could be possible for the captain to assume control without using force. Although unsettling, similar incidents have occurred before. For example, in 1997, the captain of Silk Air, a Singaporean airline, allegedly deactivated important recorders on a Boeing 737 before intentionally crashing it into a river at high speeds. Likewise, in 1999, the co-pilot of Egypt Air Flight 990 deliberately crashed the plane into the sea near Long Island, resulting in the loss of all lives on board. Additionally, just a month before the MH370 incident, the captain of Mozambique Airlines Flight 470 tragically crashed his plane from a high altitude, causing the loss of everyone on board. Another haunting example is the Germanwings Airbus, which intentionally crashed into the French Alps on March 24, 2015, resulting in the loss of all passengers and crew. In this case, the co-pilot, Andreas Lubitz, locked the pilot out of the cockpit while he went to the bathroom. Investigation findings indicate that Lubitz had been feeling sad and had previously looked into the MH370 disappearance a year earlier. However, it is difficult to accept the possibility of the co-pilot's involvement in the MH370 incident. He was described as a young, optimistic person who was eagerly looking forward to his upcoming marriage. There are no records suggesting any personal conflicts or doubts about his descent into depression. Furthermore, he was not a German pilot working for a struggling low-cost airline with low pay and little prestige. On the contrary, he was flying the impressive Boeing 777 in a country where the national airline and its pilots were highly respected. Number 6. Revealing Captain Zahari's secrets. Despite concerns, attention has been focused on Captain Zahari, who has been portrayed as an exemplary pilot and a responsible family man with a passion for flight simulators. However, even though his family presents this image, signs of distress have been ignored. Law enforcement discovered aspects of Zahari's life that needed further investigation, but the subsequent findings were not enough. An assessment of Zahari's ability to handle work-related pressure was positive, and there was no evidence of indifference, unease, or nervousness in the past. His relationships and family challenges showed no significant changes. There were no behavioral cues suggesting a withdrawal from social interactions, changes in routines, or alterations in interests. Reviewing the CCTV footage from the airport, including the day of the flight and the 3 previous flights, Zahari appeared calm, well-groomed, and dressed impeccably. His usual traits, such as his posture, facial expressions, and gestures, remained unchanged. The official report suggests that there were inconsistencies and disconnects with what was previously known about Zahari. There were troubling hints that were ignored, leading to his feeling of loneliness and despair. When his wife left him, he became isolated and spent long hours alone, eagerly waiting for time to pass between flights. He developed feelings for a married woman and also became fixated on 2 young models he found on social media. However, his attempts to connect with them went unanswered, and some of his remarks crossed boundaries. Zahari's life changed drastically, distancing him from the once stable and secure life he had. His excessive use of social media may have worsened his isolation, leading experts to believe he was clinically depressed. An interesting discovery was made when the FBI examined his flight simulator and found a flight path similar to that of MH370. Surprisingly, Malaysian investigators did not give much importance to this evidence and its potential implications. A deeper understanding of Captain Zahari's situation becomes apparent when considering these complex details. It suggests that he is facing multiple challenges that go beyond what is publicly known about him. Number 5. The Path of Clues. Victor Ianello, a creative entrepreneur from Roanoke, Virginia, is well known for his involvement in an independent group. He has been extensively studying simulated flights, with a particular focus on the flight of Malaysian Airlines MH370. Surprisingly, Malaysian investigators did not pay attention to this matter. Ianello finds it intriguing how the pilot, Zahari, handled the flight's path on the simulator. Instead of treating it as one continuous flight, Zahari chose to move it forward in stages, manually adjusting fuel and making jumps until the aircraft mysteriously disappeared from the simulation. Ianello firmly believes that Zahari plays a significant role in the chain of events that unfolded. It is worth noting that Zahari had no technical requirements to use a consumer-grade Microsoft game-like simulator for this purpose. This has raised suspicions for Ianello, leading him to propose a unique hypothesis. The simulator flight might have served as Zahari's unconventional way of bidding farewell.
Whispers fade into the street, lonely echoes we repeat, lost in shadows where we meet. Voices soft like velvet air, secrets floating everywhere. Feel your heartbeat like a prayer, two souls tangled in despair. In the shadows we fade. Pieces of a shattered mind that surge but never bring bittersweet peace, but for now we
to leaving a trail of breadcrumbs behind. While the exact reasons for Zahari's actions are still unknown, it would be unwise to dismiss the simulator flight as a mere coincidence without further understanding. According to Ianello, this unconventional simulator flight is significant in uncovering the complex story behind MH370's mysterious disappearance. Essentially, it provides insight into Zahari's possible mindset and his involvement in the events that led to this puzzling incident. Number 4. The cyber conspiracy. Esteemed historian Norman Davis presents another closely related theory on this matter. He suggests that the flight could have been remotely hacked and redirected to a hidden location. According to Davis, cyber experts may have exploited technology designed to prevent a recurrence of the 9/11 terror attacks. This technology allowed for ground control of planes. Specifically, Davis mentions the Boeing Honeywell uninterruptible autopilot, as described in his book, Beneath Another Sky, A Global Journey into History. The existence of this technology opens up the possibility of a disturbing scenario. Davis believes that the plane may have been carrying sensitive materials or personnel destined for Beijing, making it a target for not one, but 2 kidnapping attempts. Since definitive answers have not yet been provided, Davis considers it reasonable to engage in speculation on the matter. According to Davis, the sequence of events might have involved the plane initially being hijacked remotely by a hacker with the intention of diverting it to the U.S. naval base in Diego Garcia, located in the Indian Ocean. It is possible that someone else, such as a hacker or remote controller, could have gained control of the plane to stop it from reaching its intended destination. Number 3. The mysterious MH370 crash site in the jungle. In September 2019, during the search for the missing MH370 airplane, a British video producer named Ian Wilson had an interesting idea. He believed that the plane might have crashed in a remote jungle, making it hard to locate using satellite maps. Ian focused on rainforests in Southeast Asia and stumbled upon something resembling an airplane deep in the Cambodian jungle, about 60 miles west of Phnom Penh. The images showed the plane seemingly wedged against a mountain at an angle. While some airplane parts from MH370 were found in the Indian Ocean, only a few were confirmed to belong to the missing aircraft. This led to doubts about the theory of an ocean crash. Undeterred, Ian, along with his brother Jackie, decided to explore their discovery by venturing into the jungle. However, they encountered challenges along the way, and their guides had to turn back due to treacherous terrain. Nevertheless, the brothers remained firm in their belief about the finding. Aviation expert Lieutenant Tim McMillan noted that the object did resemble an airplane, but it seemed too small to be a Boeing 777. The experts confirmed that the wreckage did not belong to MH370, but rather to a different plane. However, Ian and Jackie remain confident in their discovery and plan to try again once they have enough funds for further exploration. Number 2. Secret passengers and enigmatic cargo. Amidst the investigations, there is another intriguing notion that suggests a passenger may have hijacked the aircraft and slipped on board unnoticed. This concept gained traction as investigators looked into the flight's disappearance. Their scrutiny revealed a puzzling addition to the flight list: a mysterious cargo weighing 14 stone, equivalent to a hefty 196 pounds. Mr. Jaslin, who had a personal stake with his wife and children on board, disclosed that French investigators shared this startling cargo revelation in a comprehensive report that covered passengers and their belongings, adding another layer to the puzzle. Mr. Waterloo, who believes in intentional tampering, mentioned the French newspaper La Parisienne's disclosure of an overloaded container on the flight. However, the reasons behind this perplexing occurrence remain unclear. Further unraveling the mystery, it was discovered that an unattributed load of 89 kilograms was secretly added to the flight list after takeoff. Notably, the container, for unknown reasons, exceeded the permissible weight limits. The motives behind these actions are still ambiguous. The situation continues to puzzle us, whether due to incompetence or manipulation. It creates uncertainty and raises many questions for Malaysians as the inquiries progress. Aviation security expert Tim Termini supports the idea of a hijacking, suggesting that there is substantial evidence to support this possibility. There are 4 possible scenarios within this framework. The hijacking could have been carried out by a crew member, a passenger, an unusual stowaway, or even through the remote takeover of the aircraft's electrical systems. However, Philip Baum, a prominent figure in aviation security, advises caution and highlights the officials' reluctance to consider the possibility of a stowaway. Number 1. Errant missiles or miscommunication. Another line of thought suggests that the plane may have been shot down during a joint military training exercise between Thailand and the US in the South China Sea, which happened at the same time as the plane's disappearance. It is believed that miscommunication, technical issues, or human error could have led to this unfortunate event. Mark Tegan, a former French airline director, claimed to have seen satellite images of unidentified aircraft in the area when MH370 vanished. He also reported receiving threats to abandon this theory, suggesting a case of mistaken identity. Another possibility is that MH370 was mistakenly targeted by a country's military, thinking it was a hostile or suspicious aircraft. This confusion may have occurred due to the plane deviating from its intended path, losing communication, or resembling another aircraft. Nigel Cawthorne, a British author, even speculated that US and Thai fighters might have taken down MH370 out of concern that it was heading towards their military base in Diego Garcia, Indian Ocean. Cawthorne also wondered if the presence of sensitive cargo or personnel on board attracted unwarranted attention or hostility. Some conspiracy theories suggest that MH370's disappearance was part of a cover-up orchestrated by a state actor for political or strategic reasons. This plan could involve creating a diversion, blaming another country, or secretly obtaining valuable items from the plane. One theory, proposed by G. Selina Waterloo, a French relative of a passenger, claims that the U.S. Air Force shot down MH370 to seize electronic equipment intended for China, and a global cover-up was staged to hide the truth. However, these theories face challenges and criticism. There is a lack of solid evidence and clear motives for a shoot-down, making it difficult to support these claims. No concrete proof of any missile or fighter jet near MH370 or any state actor's intention to shoot it down has been found. The alleged satellite images and anonymous threats have not been confirmed by official sources. Moreover, orchestrating the shooting of a civilian plane and then concealing it would require significant coordination and authorization, and would result in serious legal consequences. Maintaining a conspiracy of this magnitude without any leaks or whistleblowers is highly unlikely. Therefore, the truthfulness of these theories is still uncertain. Which theory about the disappearance of Malaysia flight MH370 do you think is the most likely? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next video.